David was scammed big time. And yeah, he is a senior citizen. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you the story about how he was scammed. And then I'm going to share some information that I found out about senior scams. So stick with me. David received this letter from Transamerica. As you can see, it says important insurance information, open immediately. Now, when we received this letter in the mail, I felt a little uneasy about it. It was just one of those things when I saw it was Transamerica, something pertaining to insurance. I just didn't feel comfortable about it. You ever get that feeling in the pit of your stomach when you receive something in the mail and you're just uneasy about it? You just don't feel good about it. At any rate, we get home, we open up the letter, and this is where it gets really interesting. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can make sure that I'm reading this letter correctly. Okay, it says, Dear claimant, Transamerica has recently been notified of the death of our customer. According to research, we believe you may be the person we're trying to reach regarding their death. To be sure, please complete the attached claimant inquiry request form with as much information as you can and return it to us in the enclosed envelope. They go on to say that if they don't receive enough information to complete the claim, they'll be required to follow escheatment law and begin the process to transfer the policy value, less any applicable fees, to the appropriate state. So they're going to send the money to the state if David doesn't fill out this form and send that to them. So here's the claimant inquiry request form. So you can see it says Transamerica. Looks like their logo. In fact, we've had Transamerica insurance at some point in our lives. Anyway, you can see here where I've highlighted Social Security number requested, Social Security number, Social Security number. Well, all of this is seeming really suspicious at this point. And I'll tell you why. Number one, the person that they said died is David's mother. David hasn't been in touch with her for quite a number of years, but we are in touch with other family members, and we had just seen my mother-in-law's picture on Facebook. So I asked David, please don't do anything. Please don't fill out the form. Okay, so we don't have any reason to think that your mom is dead. This was a Friday evening. I said, oh, I'll call Transamerica on Monday morning. So Monday morning comes along and I look on a website, Transamerica, to get the number to call for claims. And I always do this. I don't ever call the number that's on the letter. I always like to initiate the call and find a different number on a website or something that I think is legitimate. So I know that I'm actually calling the company. So I called the company, and because this pertains to David, he has to get on the telephone and verify a couple of things. Now, don't worry, none of this was personal information, nothing that you can't find online about him. And so at any rate, I get back on the phone because David always asks me to take care of these affairs. Okay, so I've always done this kind of thing. So I get back on the phone and I'm still suspicious. So I asked the representative, can you tell me more about the date of death on this individual? And so he says, yeah, sure, I could do that. He puts me on hold, comes back and tells me that the person died in June of 2025. Okay, big red flag. June of 2025. We know that my mother-in-law was alive June of 2025. So in the meantime, I checked with my sister-in-law. My mother-in-law is alive and well. And it turns out that David's siblings have been receiving this same letter. So I decided to go back to the Transamerica website and look for the fraud department and contact them and tell them that we are receiving these letters requesting personal information and social security numbers on a person that isn't dead. Okay. Now I talked to the woman. She didn't seem to be all that interested. Okay. She gathered the information, but then she said, well, this really isn't the fraud department. And I said, well, this was the number that I called with the fraud department. And then she started asking me one too many questions. And I said, well, I'm uncomfortable with this. So I'm going to hang up now. I don't think there's anything more to discuss because I know that this is a scam. I know that we received this letter and it's phishing for information. So she says, okay, ma'am, goodbye, have a good day and all that. So what I want to know is, have you received any kind of letter phishing for information, phishing for your social security number, maybe a call that somebody is trying to scam you out of money or something that you thought was really suspicious, or maybe a family member. Maybe it is an older parent or somebody that has been victimized by something like this. So I'm really glad that we didn't do anything with this. It just seemed really suspicious from the get-go. And now I want to get to some of the data that I found out about senior scams. According to the FBI, in 2023, over 100,000 seniors became victims of scams. That resulted in more than $3.4 billion in losses. The FBI thinks these numbers are undercut because seniors often don't report scams because of embarrassment or lack of awareness. Now, why are seniors often targeted? Number one, seniors have a trusting nature. The older we get, we are more vulnerable to being exploited because we have more of a trusting nature. Number two, financial stability. It's often perceived that older people have more wealth, they're more secure in their financial stability and have accumulated more wealth. Number three, social isolation. Loneliness and social isolation can play a factor in this and how easily older folks can be exploited. Now I want to get into some common scams that target seniors. Number one, government imposters. Check out this article on my website about how you can identify whether or not you have received something from the Social Security Administration that's a scam or if it is a legitimate document. Number two, sweepstakes and lottery scams. Number three, tech support scams. These are data breaches or non-payment or non-delivery scams. Number four, I think many of us have heard of these grandparent schemes. This is when you get a call and the person on the other end of the line says that your grandchild needs help and they need you to send money in order to help the grandchild. Number five, romance scams. Be careful of those. You might just be meeting a narcissist that wants all of your money. Investment scams. Yep, they're coming after your cryptocurrency. Investment scams are the costliest scams with 1.2 billion in losses in 2023. And lastly, we have robocalls and phishing scams. So let me know in the comments, have you been victimized by any of these scams? I want to thank you all for helping this channel grow, where we talk about all things retirement and how you can determine what you value through a just-in-time retirement mindset. And to the person that said they like my hair, thank you very much. I looked down in the comments and I couldn't find where that comment was, but David told me that someone said that they like your hair. So I just wanted to give you a shout out and say, thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Please give this video a like and subscribe for more outside the box retirement ideas. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and trust your retirement journey. I really appreciate all of you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Marlene with Rebel Retirement, and I'll see you next time.